is up, RotoGrinders? 2 hours nonstop NBA DFS conversation. It starts right now. We take you all the way up the lock. You got TJ, Will, the Chief coming in later, as well as Keith Eyster, myself, and Kid Yahoo, aka leader of the Juggalos. It's Kirkwood, Kirky. It's just myself and yourself on an 8 gamer. It's kind of split in half, right? 4 early, 4 late. We're certainly waiting for some news as well. 1 7 o'clock game, and then we have 3 games at 7:30. Then we take a break for an hour and a half where we kind of tilt our early games, and then we have 4 late games. The one that's really appealing, I think, Chicago and Utah. OKC takes on Portland, and then we have Milwaukee and Golden State. That's the back half of the ESPN doubleheader, and Giannis Antetokounmpo looks like a true 50-50 game time decision. We might not have that news on the in the slate, and of course we have the Lakers versus the Kings. So plenty of stuff to pivot from if you're gonna build with Giannis or build without, and start plugging in guys like Portis or however you want to work it. So we saw Pat Bev smash last time. Of course, that was a bit of an anomaly. Had a ton of threes. I think mostly stocks actually is one of the ways he got there too. And he was not even announced in the starting lineup. The Bucks did us no favors, telling us that Pat Connaughton was starting. But yeah, several moving parts on this slate. Triple J may come back tonight, but who knows? Probably not. Even if he doesn't, it doesn't really matter. There's still no positive values on Memphis because all those prices have adjusted. They take on Philadelphia. Philadelphia is without several pieces. They were really thin yesterday. They're even thinner today because they're sitting Kyle Lowry. He's too old to play so many minutes in the back half of back-to-back. Tyrese Maxey, of course, still out with his concussion. Kirky, welcome to Wednesday. How are things in your world? That's just kind of a little bit of an overview as far as tonight's there's a lot more to dig into, a lot going on, but that we'll kind of talk about as we go game by game. But we got an hour and 15 minutes to knock that out before we yield to crunch time. How are things? What's up, Kirkwood?
It's nice to have all the games from each site, not different sites and different games. So that's a plus. Things are okay. Slate looks pretty good. There's some good game spots to target, I think. I'm having, I had a bad night last night. I lost. But you know what it is, Dean? So the kid is just driving me crazy, right? It's just taking so much out of me. And I know it's not an excuse, whatever. I'm just on my same. So I'm trying to lean on other people.
The kid's a mush.
During this period, I'm trying to lean on other people. That's why when you say Zion over assists, Zion triple double, I got to go hard on that stuff, right? And then last night, I've been hanging around the RG chat and NBA chat. Very good place to hang out. We need more of you in there, Dean. But you pop in here and there. Roop Insurance, one of the big guys in there. He has the Roop Opto play every night, and he gives me. So I decided to change my lineup and to fade a extremely cheap Jimmy Butler for Wemby. Right, Wemby. So I went Wemby Trent over Vassell and Jimmy Butler, and it looked great for a while. It looked great. Did you see when Wemby came on the court at the beginning? So he started off the game with a bucket, a block, a rebound, and then a 3, all consecutive. Right, first minute of the game.
He's ridiculous. Yeah,
but then I think the refs, they were a little tight on the whistle there, and that helped Şengün out. Extremely, but it was just
Şengün was he's like, listen, there's 2 centers in this game we should be talking about. Acknowledge me too. Yeah, but continue.
So basically what happens is, and then Devin Vassell obviously starts doing really well because Wemby's out, sitting on the bench. And so, then I thought about it, and someone made a really good point that Roop spelled backwards is poor. and I wish that didn't dawn on me. If I knew that, I would have definitely not done it, but I'm going to give him one more chance tonight to give me the opto play tonight, and he'll have one chance to run it back, or else I'm done with him. Done.
That's so small sample size. 2 is the max. So give somebody 2 chances. Is that the deal?
Yeah.
Not even a 3-strike policy. You got a 2-strike policy.
2-strike policy, and usually it's a 1-strike policy. And I'm missing the squad rides. I'm missing all the squad rides action. A, because I forgot about it on the weekend, but B, because Andy Meansy who's crushing it, but he keeps taking hockey over shots.
Who cares? A winner's a winner. I'll take highlight if it's a winner.
I'm not betting that. I'm not.
What do you mean you're not betting? You refuse to bet hockey?
I hate hockey. I have no interest in the sport. When I bet, I like to bet for money, but also for some entertainment value of watching it. I'm not going to sit there and watch a guy or, say, oh, shot on goal, on my little app on the phone. Huh?
It really is a terrible take, Kirk. Have you been to a Bruins game live? It's much more.
They gave me Stanley Cup. I took my nephew to the Stanley Cup.
You wasted it.
Yeah, I have no interest in hockey.
You didn't enjoy a Stanley Cup final game? Are you serious?
I did because I was with my.
It was like 1-0.
We lost. They lost like 3-2 or something. But
well, you lost the bet. You probably bet on Boston. You're bummed about it. You might have liked it more if they won.
It's probably a good take.
So would you rather have a winning hockey bet or a losing basketball bet? Which would you rather have?
All right. Swaggy T is making a good point. You bet international ping pong, Kirkwood. No, I've never bet on ping pong. I have, however, I do dabble in late night Chinese women's tennis.
Really?
I have bet that before. I have bet the over under on the Georgia State lottery numbers.
Wow, that's. If somebody in chat can tell me anything, I don't want to use the wrong. Goofier, I suppose, more off the board than that. I'm curious, what's the weirdest thing you ever bet on in chat? Let us know. The strangest thing you ever bet on in chats. But that's the Georgia State lottery numbers. What is the over under 30? I guess is that how many? What do they go up to? 60? I have no idea.
I have no recollection. It was
13's a lock.
It was like the only thing on the board at the bookie. This was like a bookie. This was like a bookie account. It wasn't like a. Of
course it is. This is like the rock, paper, scissors in Vegas Vacation. This is not a real bet.
Pick a number, 7, no, 4, that's my favorite scene.
Pay paper. I'll have some of the yellow. Just a random line from the buffet. All right. People in chat are going to tell us. Brandon says he's a whale in Uzbekistan women's basketball. I don't believe that. Let's see. Tim is hanging out. He's bet snooker. I don't think snooker's goofy. Snooker's really popular in Europe.
I've bet rugby before.
There's pockets of rugby's huge.
Australian rugby. I don't know. But hockey, I have bet hockey before, but I just don't enjoy it. So
I love hockey. I wish I could watch more of it. Dante says Albanian soccer is as far as I've gone. Richie says my uncle grew up in the Philippines. He used to bet on spiders versus scorpion fights. Is that? I don't know if that's for real or not, but that seems.
I have a neighbor. I'm not sure. I haven't figured out. So the new place, the craziest thing. I don't know if I told you this already or not, but we were out on the deck and we look over at the neighbor's place in the basement. The light was on. There was a chicken coop in the down. It's definitely illegal, right? Like it was all chickens in this guy's basement next door. I don't know if he's like doing it for eggs or if he's if there's like chicken fights going on or nothing. But I should probably start inquiring what's going. I think
you should stay away. I think you should probably not inquire. It's probably best to just stay on your lawn. Thomas with the answer: Korean baseball during 2020-2021.
Yeah, I did that. Nothing made me feel worse than when I bet and I lost on Korea baseball at the same time where I went in, I played League of Legends DFS and my video gamer got scratched. It was like the crazy.
Sore hand or something. Yeah,
like what the hell is going on? And I stayed up all the way till I was up at like 5 a.m, like doing this.
Faker got scratched, and all of a sudden the people lose their minds. So several people in chat are asking about how the contest went yesterday. I did see that somebody was talking. Yeah, so Derek finished second in the contest. Second is first. Well, you cashed. Top 5 got paid. Yeah. Well, the thing is, we gave away RG Premium or your choice of RotoGrinders Premium, or you can get swag. Now, here's your options, Kirkwood. Right? When we say swag, you can get a hat, you can get a RotoGrinders T-shirt, or you can get socks. And I was just talking to Devin about it. Devin's like, man, those socks are nice. But like, what's more? Nobody's taking the socks, right? If you have your option of those 3.
That's such a Devin answer too, right? Like that's chalk for Devin, but like not anyone else.
It's super contrary. But like he says, they're really, really nice socks. So I don't know how much you can sell socks, but
what is this? Is it good style? Do they look good? Is it like, does it have like a cool feature to show off, or is it just they're very comfortable? What are we basing really good sock on?
Let's see. He says that let's see. They almost feel like they're circulation socks that hug your feet.
Is it like hospital? Those socks with like the bottoms that have like the little like stickiness or whatever. Not sticky. What you know what I'm saying? Like rubber on the bottom. Like hospital socks are great. Is all I'm gonna say.
I'm not trashing the socks. I'm just saying socks have a ceiling. It's all. I see producer Steve in chat say, "Don't listen to Dean. The socks are nice." I'm not saying they're not nice. I'm just saying like. As a general thought, you get one of these three things. You get socks, you get a hat, or you get a T-shirt. Which of those three is most likely going to get picked? I know it's third.
Well,
and is it a one pack? Well, that's a good question, Mr. Gergas. I think it's just a pair. I think it's just one pair of socks. I believe. I don't think if it's a 3-pack, that changes things. That's a different conversation. I would like some clarity on that. My understanding is
these
just
sports
one pair.
Are these like soccer socks? Are these and maybe we can get basketball socks?
I think you have a stock image of the stocks we could throw up on the screen as well. But did I not? I don't think I even shouted out the winner. I intended to shout out the winner, which I did not. And I stared at the name for a few times. I couldn't quite figure out how to pronounce it. But D. Schmeig took it down with a 331 or so. I assume they have since contacted Devin. Producer Devin will hook you up with your choice of 1 week of RG Premium. You can get a pair of amazing socks, a T-shirt, an RG hat, and we're going to run that back again next Tuesday. Tuesdays going forward, we're going to have a contest. We'll be dropping for the people, and it's just a standard contest of DraftKings, $5, and just some added value, some premium, or potentially a pair of socks or whatever your
whatever ceiling has to be. If you're not a premium member, the ceiling has. Obviously you take premium. Because at least you have upside there, right? You could sure. Tail squirrel, could tail squirrel and get a dupe win with him.
There it is, by the way. So the producer Steve is looking us up. There's the socks. What do you think? Are you impressed?
It's a nice sock, good quality sock.
It
goes on your
plural,
feet.
But yeah,
goes.
Yeah, go on your feet.
Fine,
unless you're the Red Hot Chili Peppers, you could get creative.
I can't. So what? So is that a gym outfit? Is that like a? First of all, the cut on I don't like the slim cut on the shirt behind it.
They didn't consult you, unfortunately.
No, get this out of here. I mean, the guy who designed that is the same guy who asked people to videotape him in the gym. Oh, can you videotape me doing the bench press here? If you've been to a gym, you know what I'm talking about lately. Is that everybody's like?
I've seen the clips on Twitter, yeah, and like everybody's like getting a reaction, like, "Oh, you're in my sight line," and like. Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, I don't know.
No, they're like no. There's like the other thing is like it's like a friendly thing. It's like, hey, do you mind? Can you hold the camera while I deadlift these things, whatever? And like, are you kidding me? Are you serious, buddy? And he's like, yeah, just
Today's poll question. Let's make today's poll question. What do you choose if you have your choice amongst you want to have all four? Do we put the shirt? Hat, socks. Then do we add RG Premium? If you happen to win the contest next Tuesday, what would you choose amongst those four? And let's see, or people might just troll down, just click socks. I don't know. Now I just gave them the idea, but I'm curious what would play out. What will be most popular? Maybe producer Steve can set up a poll for the people. Again, congrats to our winner last night. We'll be running it back on Tuesday. Oh, on Twitter today, at some point, 7, 8 o'clock, give or take, I will be dropping a challenge for tomorrow. Tomorrow's giveaway, Kirkwood, and I guess you can enter if you really want to. It doesn't make any sense for you to do so. I'm going to send out a tweet. Just respond to my tweet and tell me why you should take me on. Tomorrow is a head-to-head challenge. I will take somebody on head-to-head. And if you beat me tomorrow in a head-to-head challenge, you get your choice of hat, shirt, socks, or RG Premium. Let me know. Be creative. Stand out. And we'll play a little head-to-head contest on DK. We'll make that work. Get your submissions ready. I probably should have had it good to go. Oh, there's the terrible picture too.
I've got a new angle on this.
Okay. Oh, what do you got?
Do one for also the RGMBA Discord. Let somebody in there take you on too.
Okay, so you want me to do two, or I can just drop the Twitter.
Do a Twitter one. Do it. Yeah, but some of these guys you can't trust that they're even on.
You want to give everything away? What if I have a bad day? I'm giving like two things. RG without
first of all, it's better. It's better to run it twice for you. Especially so.
Okay.
you'll probably win at least one out of the two.
All right. Should we talk about the slate? Let's talk about the slate. Let's dive in. I kind of gave an overview before. It really is kind of clear cut. Is like clear cut values. I ran some optimal stuff like campaign. You're going to get a lot of campaign. You're going to get a lot of Philadelphia. You're going to get a lot of Cleveland. Cleveland, lost one more of their starters, their big starters. We know Mitchell's out now. Strus is still out, and now Mobley. Mobley's going to be out for some time. We saw the emergence of Dean Wade. Dean Wade, I believe, single-handedly outscored your Celtics in the fourth quarter last night, which is kind of hilarious.
But Kirk won a bet. Kirk bet with 2 minutes and something going. I took the Celtics plus 1.5, plus 100. And so good teams win. Great teams cover, Dean. Great teams cover.
Early poll results, by the way, RG Premium is well in the lead. It's super, super early, but hit that poll. Also, while you're clicking on the poll, let's click on the like button. Hit that like button. Do subscribe. Turn on those notifications. Help us keep the lights on. But yeah, the overview, I ran them for optimals for FanDuel. I ran them for DK. On FanDuel especially, 3 of the top 4 most popular players that hit my optimals are 76ers. The Jazz look pretty interesting. They're super thin as well. I like the Bulls as a run back in that game. But for me, it's, obviously there's studs we'll get to. Like some of these guys just got to help you get the studs. But it's Cavs, it's 76ers, like some Bulls, like some Jazz. And that's the slate, right? Of course, Lakers, Sacramento, good environment as well. If you have the salary to spend up, we'll talk about it.
I got to take us off tangent for one more second. TJ's great supporting wife who's watching our show.
Yeah.
So what I'm a lot of the chat had some good ideas with boxer briefs, RG boxer briefs, RG boxers. Ooh. What do they do? And this is a question for TJ's wife, currently wife. What do they wear? What do they do in Saskatoon? Do they do boxers? Do they do long underwear? Do they do boxer briefs? Or is TJ a free baller? And
you can't. Underwear? It's like minus 40. That does not seem. That seems that seems like a bad idea. A recipe for disaster.
Because I think that's like we did socks. If we're going socks, we got to at least get into the underwear game too.
Look, we're slowly expanding. TJ, by the way, did answer the question in chat, and he confirmed boxer briefs. There you go. So, I thought long underwear was the thing when you're in super cold places. I remember that's like when you're playing a football game and in the cold you wear the long underwear. But I don't know. Yeah, for skiing as well. Long johns, according to Mr. Richard there in chat. Anything else we should sort of knock out before we talk about the slate? Again, it is pretty straightforward. There is some news we're waiting for. Some we're probably not going to get. We're probably not getting Giannis. That's a late game. He did participate in shoot-arounds. It is like a legit injury, or I don't know if injury is the right word. He's not he was legit dinged. It wasn't just like giving him a rest. It's on ESPN. If that does anything for you, it motivates him to play a little bit more. We'll see. It's also an island game. Didn't play yesterday, not playing tomorrow. There are a lot of teams in the second half of a back-to-back, which is kind of annoying. Orlando, Cleveland, Philly, Atlanta, and the Rockets. Front end, Chicago, Warriors, and the Kings. Anything else you want to say here, Kirk? Well, you didn't really give kind of a lay of the land when it comes to the slate, but I assume it's kind of sort of obvious like what the good stuff is. Philadelphia is going to jump off the page. I think Utah looks pretty good, how thin they are. I don't like the pace there against Chicago. I think Chicago's pretty interesting as far as run backs, but it's kind of a have and have not slate. Would you agree with that thought process? Kirk, well, you were on mute, sir.
Sorry, amateur hour. I just ran up to calm down my kid. But Philly certainly the value with just they don't have much guards. They don't tons of the all their big usage guys out. So obviously that's a good spot. The game environment of Bulls Jazz looks really, really good. So you have to like that. Then we've got I think Kings Lakers could be a good spot tonight.
Sure.
And late night hammer. Fortunately, we all have to stay up and watch it now, but we're back to the
stay up. Don't you stay up late? Or the kids hold you back again?
I'm always up late, but it's not as late as I used to be.
Yeah. It's what we get. Wiggins expected back tonight for Golden State. I didn't mention that they're fully healthy. The Warriors are fully healthy, coming off that shellacking against your Celtics. An embarrassment. Lost by like 50 or so.
So it's not an embarrassment. First of all, I mean, oh yes, they're an embarrassment for them.
It's kind of an embarrassment.
I thought you were talking about. I thought you were going back to the Cavs loss last night. It was like, okay,
no, I wasn't talking about that.
Celtics have won 11 out of their last 12. Let's relax a little bit. But really, the big news is just Giannis, right? But he went through shoot around. So other than that, Jaren Jackson Jr. is a big piece. But man, I'm so sick of Memphis.
So the thing is that we have the if-then stuff, and the Memphis prices have adjusted so much. Assuming it's just Triple J that doesn't play, there's still no positive values on our if-then for Memphis if Triple J is out. And if he's in, he's playable. The other thing, by the way, and I don't want to get too far in the weeds on it, if you look at the Tankathon stuff, I'm always staring at the Tankathon stuff, and they're like in a weird spot where they basically, I don't want to say they can't improve, but they're kind of sort of stuck with they're at. They're not really battling with anybody right now. So I'm not saying they're going to go and play their guys. They're kind of sort of somewhat tanking. And they've had a lot of injuries as is, but they're 4 wins ahead of Portland. Is Portland going to win 4 games the rest of the way? We're at the quarter pole. Probably not. Maybe let's say Portland wins 4 games. Memphis is going to accidentally win 1 in the next 20. So I don't really, and they have Toronto ahead of them. I'm just saying Memphis basically is kind of sort of stuck in their Tankathon spot, but I don't want to go too far in the weeds on the old Tankathon stuff. Anything else we got here, Kirkwood, or shall we dive in, go game by game? Just one game at 7 o'clock. We talked about ignoring last night's game at 7 o'clock, and I don't know. I guess you can, but I have some interest because, we love picking on the Wizards, and also a midday downgrade here in Orlando. It's something worth monitoring. They are in the back half of a back-to-back. Do you have any overall thoughts, or do you want to just dive in and talk about the Magic and the Wiz?
No, I'm trying to fix my camera here. There we go. We're much better. So no, let's talk about the Magic and the Wiz.
All right, I'll just set it up for you and throw it to you. 224 is the total. Like Wizards at home, 7-point dogs, I believe. Speaking of the Tankathon, they're entrenched. They can play as hard as they want to play the rest of the way if they want to. They are 9-52. They're locked in the ones. Not I want to say locked in, but they have the team on the 4 on the outside looking in has 6 more wins. That's Charlotte. Washington ain't winning six games the rest of the way if they try to win 6 more games. So they're going to be in the bottom 3. They're going to have the best chance possible, 14% chance to get the number 1 overall pick. So in theory, if they understand that, they can play their guys. They don't have to do anything goofy as far as tanking stuff. It's just going to take care of itself. Matchup here against Orlando, obviously not good, not appealing. We will have center Kuzma, which I think is kind of interesting. No Bagley. Wendell Carter on the other side, midday downgrade with a knee. It's the back half of a back-to-back. And because of that, they have to rule out old man Gary Harris. He's not playing. And Jonathan Isaac, who's historically fragile, he's not playing basketball tonight either. I thought Wendell Carter was kind of sort of somewhat interesting just because how bad Washington is inside. Is there a chance like it could be Goga season if Wendell Carter is ruled out and Goga draws the start? That's a thought. He's super cheap. He's back down to 3.2K. He a DMP CD some days, but this feels like a spot if Carter doesn't play, maybe become a thing. Your thoughts when it comes to Magic and Washington? What do you got?
Yeah, so I kind of like center Kuzma here in this spot from the Washington side, but I know Jordan Poole's been going off lately. I'm not sure this is the matchup for him, but on the other side, if Wendell Carter Jr., I think that's pretty important, but I'm not sure how they're going to play. We'll have to wait for the starting lineup. If Goga starts, absolutely, we're kind of searching for value everywhere, but I think Mo Wagner is better in this situation. I think he would fit this matchup a little bit better, but wait and see what they do here. So what do they maybe they match up Goga with Rashawn Holmes. I don't know. I'm not sure because
they can start Holmes. You think Holmes starts?
No, I don't think so. But
okay.
I don't know. I think Kuz is going to start at the center, but what do they even care, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's not like Rashawn Holmes is a part of their future, and theoretically, whenever Washington is good, I don't know when that's going to be, but I rest assured, who's not going to be in that team? Rashawn Holmes. I promise you, he's not going to be in that team. Kuzma might not be in that team. Maybe, but probably not. He at least has a chance. Yeah, I'm curious to see those starting lineups. I think there's a shot Holmes starts, but also there's a shot he starts and plays 20 minutes. That's the other thing. And it's like, do I want to get married to that? Not really. The matchup against Orlando is not spectacular. And we have other cheap stuff. It's just something to consider, I suppose. What are we giving Holmes? About 20 minutes or so? I'm just checking. Yeah, we're giving him 16. So obviously that would jump if he starts. And we're giving Bataze just 2. And I only mention him because if Wendell Carter doesn't go, there's a chance he starts. And that's what, 25, 26, 27 minutes to go around for WCJ if he gets ruled out. Continue your thought. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, those are my thoughts. I think so. I think we'll have to wait and see. Is that like who's starting, and then obviously we can play the value piece. But if Wendell's out, but Boncaro, little flop lag after busting last night in such an amazing spot. I think it's fine to go back to him, but I don't really have a ton of other interest in this game. But
did you mention Franz Wagner? Did you mention any of the Wagners?
I did. I mentioned Mo, but I want to see. I think Mo will be fine regardless if Wendell Carter Jr. is out. But I want to see if he's starting, because that would be something they could do. But that would, obviously, because Goga does not. I don't know if they would play Goga against Kuz.
That doesn't make any sense. You're right. Yeah, but Goga against Holmes maybe. It could be.
So what I'm saying is they may just match those backup minutes, and so I'm not sure possibly what they'll do. Maybe they'll start Mo Wagner, but I don't think they ever really do.
Yeah, they could unleash the Mo Wagner revenge game. Franz has been very good historically against Washington as well, for what it's worth. And this is the back half of back-to-back for Orlando. That's why some of their players are going to be out, and also it's Washington, and maybe that's why they kind of take it easy. Maybe that's why they give WCJ a night off. We'll see. Stay tuned. Anything else here?
No. Anthony Black is gonna get some ownership, I think.
No.
A little bit.
Why?
I don't know why, but
we have enough value. We don't need Anthony Black. He's 3-1. We're giving him 22 minutes, a 17-point projection currently.
Yeah, don't play him, but
yeah, I mean he's a terrible usage guy, terrible fantasy point by the guy. It just doesn't seem. I don't think. Yeah, he'll get some minutes, and he might start. Are we projecting him to start? No, we're projecting Caleb Houston, but either one, neither one is. They're both fool's gold. I think. Is that fair to say?
You can play Avdia too.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the cheap Orlando nonsense, like Houston or Black. Either one seems.
Yeah, No point. Yeah, there's no point.
7:30 games. We got 3 of them. The first one we're going to talk about is the Cavs. The Cavs at the Hawks. 215 is the total. Is this the lowest total the Hawks have played in the entire season? I'm going to say yes. Somebody feel free to fact check that. It's got to be, right? The Hawks have not played in a total lower than 215. I wouldn't think. They are slight favorites here versus Cleveland because Cleveland is beat up. They're also on the road. They're also traveling. It's the back half of back-to-back. They're without 3 of their starters. No Max Strus, no Donovan Mitchell, no Evan Mobley. Hunter, we have, Trae Young's going to be out for a while. Okongwu's still out. DeAndre Hunter, that is. Back half of wait, are they playing the back half of back-to-back too, Atlanta? I think they are. Yeah, they're on the back half as well. I feel like he hasn't played a back-to-back in a while. They've been kind of babying him along as far as his minutes. Still not expected to draw the start. But, the Cleveland side is going to garner a fair bit of ownership. Jared Allen, they have the 2 bigs. It's kind of tricky to decide amongst those 2. Now that Mobley's gone, Allen really looks spectacular, and you combine that with the matchup, he looks awesome to me. You got the cheapie Sam Merrill, who disappointed yesterday, but should get even more run today with the absence of Mobley in a different position, but still they're kind of thin. Karis LeVert off the bench is certainly in play for me as well. And you can tell yourself a story on somebody like Niang. He's another guy that can get going. Again, the matchup versus Atlanta's prime. It's the old perfect storm of lots of injuries and a spectacular matchup. Are you in on the Cavs as well? Can you power rank the Cavs for me?
Number 1, Jared Allen. Number 2, Darius Garland. Number 3, Sam Merrill. Number 4, Dean Wade, although I think the ownership is going to get a little hectic tonight on him. So I think that I 3,200, I still think he's going to be all right, especially in this matchup. But
Is there going to be recency bias on that because he was so ridiculous yesterday? Like that was such an anomaly, obviously.
Of course. But he's 30 because he's 3,200 and he's got a good matchup now, and he's probably going to get a lot of minutes. So
yeah. You want to power rank Deans while you're at it? Any interest in power ranking just Deans in general?
Herb Dean, number 1.
The referee, Herb Dean, of course.
Yeah.
I thought people hated Herb Dean. I'm not a MMA connoisseur, but I thought people are always like saying he takes too long to, he lets people get pummeled basically. But you tell me, this is your list. It's
always changing based on what happened last. If they miss something, make a mistake,
Yeah.
But I think he's good. Paula Dean, Derek shouted out that.
I think she's fallen in the rankings recently.
Dean Martin for sure.
Rat Pack.
Yeah. What are some more?
You can't think of any others. Jimmy.
I mean, not Jimmy Dean, sausage, the king of Chicago, the sausage.
Yeah, you're thinking of Ferris Bueller's. That's a different. But go ahead, continue.
Dean Shavelson is going to be the 999th down at the bottom.
That's fair. But you can't even think of 998 in front of that. But that's understood.
Wow,
Dean Smith, shout out North Carolina.
Oh, certainly up there.
Dean Winter, is that still a thing? Was that like insurance or something like that? I don't know if that's remember Dean Winter insurance or maybe something to do with stocks. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Man.
Looking here. I'm looking at famous people named Dean.
Yeah.
Just Googled it, and I don't know any of these people.
What do you mean? How do you not know him?
You know Dean Jones?
I don't think so. No.
Eyster Dean.
Christopher Dean?
Christopher Dean?
No. Oh, Dean Norris, Breaking Bad. There you go. He was Walt's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Remember him? Dean Norris?
Yeah. Dizzy
Dean, Mr. Richard in chat. All right. And somewhere Dean Wade is also in the mix. Dean Kramer.
You know what? Yeah, Dean Kramer is there. You know what, Dean?
Yeah.
You are up. People are right. You're definitely a top 10. Dean Shavelson is in the mix.
No, I'm not. I'm not on the board. There's not enough characters.
No, you are in the mix. That's a good name. There's not many. I mean, you're certainly the number 1 Shavelson.
There's not a lot out there. There was the wrestler Dean Ambrose being thrown out there in chat.
I don't even know.
Fred Dean on the Niners. More than you thought. More than you expected when you started this conversation. Ownership, by the way, as far as Cleveland and Atlanta, it's going to get kind of sort of somewhat out of hand. I don't know if it's fully out of hand. Allen currently 37% on DK. Merrill at 24%. The aforementioned Dean Wade at 24%. Garland at 20. It's interesting that Garland's like one of the best options, and he's 20%. I understand that it's a lineup construction thing. Niang at 3.3 is 15%. I don't mind him either, the minivan. And Levert at 18%. We know how he can get going, man. And the path is there. Yeah. And he's very much like it's fluid. How well, like a lot of guys, it's how well you're playing, but more so than others.
I used to have such high hopes for Levert, and I know injuries have really plagued him. But I still wish a little more. But I think this is the Sam Merrill spot, 4,800. The Hawks are 28th in opponent threes. This kid's gonna shoot three. So
they raised the price, and the ownership's gonna still be there. And
it's 4,800.
I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm not sure if that's the best chalk. I'm not sure. I mean, if he's like $10 on Yahoo,
31 and 29 minutes the last 2 games, I think you play him.
Yeah. I mean, in the matchup, like you said, it's just that he's really reliant on scoring, and if he's not scoring, it could be troublesome. And if you can somehow if he puts up like 27 points, which is a really realistic number.
This is the matchup to back. This is the matchup to back, Dean.
Okay,
lights out tonight.
Can I hold this against you if it doesn't work and like mention it?
I think Okoro's been looking pretty good lately, actually.
Has he?
Yeah,
I have played him a little bit, but you never really feel good about.
I don't know if you've watched him. But
yeah, no, I've watched. He's the definitive 3-and-D, right?
Yeah, but he's got some athleticism to him. So he's starting to, he's 16 and 17 real points in the last 2 games against Boston and the Knicks. 31, 34 minutes. There's nothing wrong with him.
Kyle says, can we bet over 6.5 points for Dean Wade, which is that really his number?
We can.
We're currently projecting him at 6.84. That is his current median projection. I'll
defer to Bobby Betts in chat on that one. Bobby Gomes, answer that question if he should do that or not.
Let's see. Star in chat. First time listener. Any conversation about tiers? No, I mean, like, you can sort of apply the conversation we're having, but we don't really talk tier specific. For some reason, that never really took off, and I've never really dabbled in the tiers. Do you play tiers often? I feel like you don't. I mean, we could use a lot of the information. Say it again.
You think I do tiers and flash drafts?
I don't know.
What
I
else?
have no idea.
I mean, actually, I did the Georgia over under in the Georgia lottery.
What, you're willing to bet anything?
Yeah.
you have no there's nothing that's like beneath you when it comes to betting, I suppose. But we have stuff on the site. Like we have, check out RotoGrinders, RotoGrinders.com. And we'll give you, exact projections. You can sit there and you figure it out. It's like, well, these guys are in the same tier. Who's projected for the highest ceiling? There you go. Bing, bang, boom. You're good to go. Atlanta's also playing basketball. How do we feel about the Hawks? Bad matchup, of course, here against Cleveland. I imagine their defense is a little bit weakened by, the absence of some of their pieces. But still, not a great pace. Lowest total we've seen as far as Atlanta, at least that I can recall. They're not going to be owned. You have Murray. It's his world. But he's a super expensive. Murray without Young is typical lock and load. But the prices, Texas really, really proactive, almost too proactive. 9.5 on DK, and it's going to keep the ownership down in single digits, well in the single digits. Everybody currently in the single digits. I'm still waiting for Capella to get more minutes. Theoretically, he would get more against Cleveland, but they're a little bit smaller now without Mobley. And it's also the back half of back-to-back. We're only giving him 25. Even without Okongwu, it's just the way it's been. And, Johnson will play some backup 5. Hawks, long story short, no priorities, but interesting runbacks. If you want to get goofy in large field stuff, that's kind of where I'm at. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's DeJounte or nothing really. I mean, you could play Sadiq Bey, but that's it. Everyone else from the price standpoint. But this is actually a good – I mean, this Cavs defense is going to be a lot worse than any Cavs defense we've ever seen. So yeah, I could be sold on for some deep things, but their prices are kind of out of hand. I mean, DeJounte could go nuts in this situation.
He has to. Like, it's not that he could. He has to, because you got to pay for it. He's probably really a tiers play.
Do we really have 800 views right now?
I don't know. I'm not looking at the number of views. Maybe, possibly.
Is that more than like button? That's a lot more than normal, no?
That seems like it's an early crowd. People got wind of the poll and they heard about us talking about socks. Like, oh, we got to jump on this show for sure.
It's the socks, but so I want to get back to the socks. So we need to go underwear, and we need to do. Someone said it in chat also. We need to have the tees, wife beater tees.
That's what we need.
Boxer briefs, box. I mean, we went socks, so you can't not
you
go to underwear.
Up and down.
Yeah, you got to give the people what they want. So I think
apparently we get a lot of views on Twitter, which I was not aware of, but that's what TJ is telling us here in chat. So what up? Hello, Twitter. You can feel free to jump over to YouTube. Either way, however you're watching us, we do appreciate y'all watching. There's no like button on Twitter. I guess there is a like button on Twitter, isn't there? Yeah, there is. Hit that one. We got anything else here as far as Atlanta and Cleveland, or shall we move on?
Move on.
I think this is a catch-me-up game. At least half this game is a catch-me-up game. Memphis and Philadelphia, 212 is the total. Philadelphia just a 5-point favorite against Philly, which suggests Triple J is going to play. I know Philly is beat up, but they're home and they're facing Memphis, who's just horrendous, and they just are always, just without players. The long list, anybody you've heard of on Memphis is out. You can even add Zaire Williams. Zaire Williams was getting some run. So no Zaire, no Bain, no Smart, no Yuta Watanabe. Triple J is questionable. My guess is he's playing just because it feels like Vegas thinks he's playing. Or maybe you tell me, there's Philadelphia that bad, because Philadelphia's bad too. because there's no Embiid, there's no Melton. Lowry's going to rest. He's old, cannot play 2 games back-to-back. And then Tyrese Maxey is out with his concussion. So Campaign, who did not feel good yesterday, Nick Nurse was saying he had him playing short stints because Campaign was ill and he had trouble breathing. He's now looking like the chalk du jour tonight. He's like the last man standing as far as point. As I guess they have Smith as well, Terquavion Smith. I don't know how much run he's going to get. And Jeff Doughton even got a little bit of run yesterday just because, again, Payne was having issues breathing, which hopefully he feels better. I just don't like the fact that the most popular player on the slate had issues breathing yesterday. I assume he's fine. But Philadelphia also does some really goofy things as far as the injury report. By goofy, I mean they don't do stuff. They don't tell you. They lie or lie by omission. Ownership right now, currently on Payne, is 61%. Just because, he's 4.1K. He did get hiked up a little bit, but that's still not nearly enough. The path is clear with no Maxey and no Lowry. He should play 30 minutes. Just too cheap. And then you got Kelly Oubre getting some nice run here, 35% ownership. And Harris, the price is bumped up, but he's the key guy here. You got to pay for it, but Harris feels like 40 points in the bank. I know historically not the most reliable guy when you're waiting for it, but all 3 of those guys look good to me. A little bit of Buddy Hield, don't mind. Memphis for me is a cross out unless you want to play Triple J if he plays as a run back, which is whatever, but I have no interest really in Memphis. You tell me.
Yeah. So, I mean, this game's kind of ugly. I think we got to go back to Tobias here, even after a disappointing game in this situation than the last one. I think point Tobias is also in play. I think he's going to have, he's going to be the first option, obviously. I'm not really scared of Memphis in any way, but Kelly Oubre is in play. Campaign, if he's playing, you got to trust that he's fine.
Yeah.
So you may just be overthinking it by this.
Well, the quote thing. Literally, Nurse after the game said that there was a chance that he might get scratched in the middle of the game. He was talking about Campaign, and it's and he kind of played short stints. And I think he played 20 minutes in total, despite starting the game. I don't think he closed either. Played a little bit on and off there in the fourth. And again, maybe he feels perfectly fine today. He's not in the injury report. But if there's one team I do not trust their injury report, Philadelphia's on the Family Feud board. They're definitely on the Family Feud board. Is the biggest liars when it comes to injury report. But again, I don't want to make anybody all paranoid. I'm just saying that the most popular play on the slate, this is if you're looking for a reason not to play Campaign, and I'm going to play him almost definitely in every single lineup. But I'm just telling you that's a reason not to. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, but basically those are the only 3 I really have interest. I mean, maybe Mo Bamba, but I don't know. So it's Oubre. So it's Harris, my number 1, Oubre number 2, Campaign number 3, and Bamba, I guess, would be number 4. I mean, maybe
the Bamba thing has been a disaster. He's starting but not playing more minutes. Yeah, it's just it's he's not closing. Reed's getting more run.
If he goes off and actually plays well, he has some upside. That's all. The only reason you're playing him, because he's capable of stuff in the stat sheet in many ways. But yeah, I don't see him doing particularly well in this matchup though.
And he's not even cheap anymore. He's already 5-1 now.
51. Yeah. I
mean, he was in the 3s and the 4s, and then you could tell yourself a story. But now, it's a little bit too ambitious for me. Anything else we should talk about as far as Memphis and Philly, or shall we move on? Oh, you know what? Since we're talking about Memphis and Philly, let's go ahead and tell the people about the squad rod play. Producer Steven, he can throw it up on the screen for the people.
Is it hockey?
No. It's not hockey.
Right.
You have not bet it yet today, so you've not yet mushed it. Andy Means, I know you want to go streaking in Fenway. Andy Means is going streaking with the squad rods. If you guys don't know, one contributor will select one of our selections from Scores and Odds, scoresandodds.com. All your player props, sides, and totals, every single sport, including hockey. You don't have to watch the game. You can just get the winners. Andy is and if you win, if you get it right, you keep going, you stick around. It's like craps. That's how that works, right? So Andy has selected over. He took Charlie's pick of over Campaign 18.5 points and assists. That's since moved. I saw it. I got it at 19.5, but a little bit less juice.
So he's going against the breathing too.
Well, I think it's factored in. I mean, he's breathing, but he had issues breathing. Yeah, if he's not breathing, don't play him. But as far as I know, we're expecting him to be breathing tonight. So, by the way, Bobby's saying he still has not been asked to join the squad ride. Next time I'm up, I will nominate Bobby next. How about that? There you go. I don't know if Bobby plays long in the squad ride.
Has Bobby ever even been in? Has Bobby ever even been in RG Discord?
Oh, I don't know.
That's what the people want to know. The people want to know.
Do the people want to know, or are you just like making up something?
I mean, Bobby should be in NBA Discord. Bobby should be in NBA Discord.
TJ also has not been nominated. Okay, well, I will nominate one of those two next time. We'll have a contest to figure out who's nominated next time I'm nominated. Not to be presumptuous. Okay, so yeah, we're riding with Andy and Charlie in the squad ride over 18.5 campaign assists and points. And you can tilt that with us as well in the Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord. Most of the channels are free. The NBA channel is free. The NHL channel is free, which probably shouldn't be because the information there is awesome. Feel free to tilt that with us. Every single day we kind of post it, we talk about it. And, when we get the W, it's always a fun little celebration. We've been getting those of late, even in hockey, despite the fact that Kirkwood does not want hockey winners, unfortunately, which is a weird take. I'll take winners in any sport you give them to me. We should move on, though, right? Memphis and Philly moving on.
You're gonna want to hit me up on Saturday.
Yeah, because you got some winners from MMA this weekend.
Oh, I'm gonna definitely have some winners.
Well, why can't you give me the winners now before the lines move?
It's a sick card. No, because the lines aren't always efficient over. They're actually not efficient. Don't worry about the lines because there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong between now and the fight. Because making weight and like how these guys make weight is like one of the biggest issues. So you want to see them all on the scales, make weight, and I have an idea. And like do analysis. I have an idea of where I'm going. I have an idea. Yeah, I watch the weigh-ins. I certainly watch the weigh-ins.
You take notes.
You think I don't watch the weigh-ins?
I don't know. I'm asking. You won't watch hockey, but you'll watch guys get fair enough. That's
shirtless guys flexing. Yeah. I'm surprised you don't watch it, dude.
Well, if they are wearing RotoGrinders boxer briefs, then maybe I would consider RotoGrinders socks, but I don't think we've gotten that big just yet. Jeff Green, by the way, officially ruled out. Jabari Smith, he was ill. He had the fish earlier today, but he's good to go. He's going to play. So, there was a chance that some stuff would open up there for Houston. Jabari Smith is officially in. We got the update on Wendell Carter. There is no update. His update is a game time decision. You will know at some point. Orlando is the best team, probably the best team in the league when it comes to giving injury information. It's also the first game on the slate, so you'll know what Orlando's doing. If we don't know it, Crunch Time's going to know it at about 6:15, 6:20 or so. We got an update at Lineup HQ, so I'm running some more fresh optimals. I think it was just some tinkering. I don't think anything really huge came in news-wise. Campaign still hitting the most, more optimals than anybody else. Campaign is number one. Kelly Oubre is number two. We'll talk about Chris Dunn in a second. And then it's 5 Cavs. I didn't ask you this. Are you maxing Cavs at a certain number? Very first optimal currently has 4 Cavs, which is so weird because the second one has 1 Cav. The third one has 3. I don't think I'm playing more than 3 Cavs. I like the Cavs, so I don't know if I like them that much.
Yeah, you have a thought on this? Fine. Again, I'm not one to limit myself. I'll do that in GPPs, but like I think 3 would be fine because it's like price. If you like some of these cheap guys in there, like I could certainly play Merrill, who I said I like, and play Okoro together. Because they both could go off to for their standards of going off at a reasonable price tag. So I'm fine. I think Jared Allen is a great play. Like I said, so and Dean Wade is so cheap, you have to make a decision whether you're going to play into that ownership or not. But
yeah, you play Wade and Merrill, and like you're making the lineup everybody else is making. Like large field stuff, maybe try to limit it a little bit. If you're playing your single entry, sure, whatever. I don't know if I want every cheap piece. That's going to be Payne, Wade, Merrill. Is that how you're starting your lineup tonight? I don't mean you. I mean like the generic you. If you're thinking like optimal stuff, cash game, different conversation. Anyways, last game amongst the early set, right? It's kind of split 4 and 4. The fourth game, the third of the 7:30 games, the Clippers and the Rockets. Both these teams, no, not both these teams. The Rockets are on the back half of back-to-back. The Clippers, this is an island game for them, right? They did not play yesterday. Yeah, they're not playing tomorrow.
I think you smash the 6-point line here.
You think the Clippers are going to shellac the Rockets here?
I do.
7 points. That seems like a fair bit of Houston didn't have to travel. This game is
going to be a blowout.
Clippers are fully healthy with the exception of Westbrook. Westbrook, of course, still out with that hand. He's been out for a while with that hand. Jeff Green is out. That's not a big deal. Jabari Smith is good to go. Tari Eason out for the season.
The Rockets cover.
Here it is.
If the Rockets win outright,
I
will streak Fenway Park opening day.
Well, will you wear RotoGrinders boxer briefs before you officially?
Yeah, I will. I will go out there with RotoGrinders socks.
Wear 3 socks.
I need 3 socks. Yeah, 3 socks, and that'll help me because I can stuff it a little bit or make it. I can make it look good.
I don't know if RG would want the sponsorship or if this sort of like makes it on the highlight reel, but any press is good press. Some people say sometimes, but all right, yeah. Is Şengün going to run it back? Or this is obviously a much tougher matchup here versus the Clippers. He just annihilated Wemby, and the Spurs dropped like an 80 burger, 80 plus, 81, 82, give or take. It was a lot. You kind of needed Şengün last night. He fully smashed. As far as this game, ownership-wise, it's going to be mostly under-owned. Şengün's still getting 14%, Kawhi 12, 13%. Everybody else in the single digits is currently on DK. I don't love this game. I will say Jalen Green, I kind of buried him earlier in the year, and it felt like he was, falling in the doghouse, and I was already having him traded, and like Amen Thompson's going to take him over. He's been better of late, so good for him. I still don't love the matchup here against the Clippers. I think this is a game I'm mostly ignoring. I don't mind Şengün. It's not a chase, but again, the matchup is clearly not as good here. Defense much better on the Clippers side, even inside, outside. I don't love this game.
I like the Clippers side, but
from a big gambling perspective.
Again, well, I think they're gonna do. I think Kawhi is a great play tonight, and I think Jalen Green is fine play tonight actually, but that's the only guy I have interest in. I just want to say that someone said it in chat. I'm gonna, if they lose, I will show what a pesky poll should be.
We had to go back to that, didn't we?
The real pesky poll.
Yeah, Johnny Pesky, right? About 300 feet.
You know that I did the tour for Fenway with DraftKings.
I did too.
Yeah. It's not it's actually 10 feet even closer than it says. So they had to lie on their documentation to get it like approved or whatever.
Really? It jets out really quickly though. Like if you don't pull the ball, it's tough to bang it out in right field. Okay. 3 weeks, no baseball. We'll talk about baseball soon enough. You said you like the Clippers to win this game from a betting side, but DFS wise, like Kawhi's fine. You got to pay for him. He's fine. If I land on him, I'm not going to blow it up. If he's my last man in, I have the salary for it. But this game mostly is a cross out. And you want to sell me? Do you have any priorities here? I have no priorities.
I mean, this is an island game. When you can get Kawhi on full minutes, he played 37 minutes last time he played Houston, had a big game. I think it's a good matchup for him. I think the back-to-back here is going to be, that was an emotional win. Like that was a tough played game. Şengün's going to feel like he's the man, but get taken back down to earth today. So I think it's Kawhi is the play.
By the way, just taking a peek at the poll, not the pesky poll, but the poll we're running here in chat. Which would you choose if you had your option? If you happen to win the contest yesterday, we're running on Tuesdays going forward in the Discord channel. $5 to jump in there, additional value. You get a week free of RG Premium. You get an RG hat, an RG shirt, or RG socks. I did think that contrarian was the socks, and despite the hard sell, socks just 5%. RG Premium, the clear winner right now, 59%, hat 15, shirt 21%. Let's talk about the first of the late games. That's the Bulls at the Jazz. 224 is the total. Jazz 4-point dogs here at home. We saw Keontae George try to give it a go last time out. He was fully sick, played about 5 minutes of horrendous basketball and said, I cannot do this. He's out. Markkanen's out. Walker Kessler's out. and Taylor Hendricks got hurt in that game as well too. So he's also out. We're currently projecting Shamanitz to draw the start. We did see not just Shamanitz, but Sensabaugh, Dunn, Sexton, Sensabaugh, Shamanitz, and Collins with Clarkson coming off the bench. We did see Clarkson start the second half in that game and just was awesome. I don't know if he's going to start or not. I don't know if I care. Either way, he's still going to play. Yeah. Do not be afraid if he's not starting. It's basically the moral of that. As far as Chicago, we did get the Dalen Terry ruled out. Not a big deal. Torrey Craig not out, but doubtful. Nothing else new. Levine out. Patrick Williams out. But yeah, Chris Dunn is another cheapie. Oh, it's a Chris Dunn revenge game. You just realized that. Yeah, he used to play for the Bulls. Not great. That's why they moved on from him. Sexton looks really good. I think Collins looks good here.
I think Chris Dunn is a good NBA. He just has no offense, but there should be teams that want him. He's such a good defender, and he can run an offense.
Who's he covering? Athletic. Is he covering White? Is he covering DeRozan? Who do they throw him on?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Kind of matters. A little bit.
It's probably White.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I would want the other guy. Not that you can't play the either or, but a lot of stuff happens in transition, and there's only so much half-court offense these days. All the Chicago guys look good to me, like Vuk against Collins, sure. And if they kind of work in your 7, we saw Jazang get some run in the fourth quarter last game. I think he played the entire fourth quarter. He got hot. This Utah team is really, really thin. THC will get some run, but you got to tell yourself a story on that one. I like all the Bulls. I like White. I'm okay with DeSumo, although his price is kind of now where he finally should be. Vuk, DeRozan. I don't really want to be in on Drummond. I think Drummond will be awesome in the minutes he gets. It just doesn't feel like a spot where he gets. They're not going to go double big against this Utah team, which is going to be small. So I don't think that's going to happen, although their options are pretty limited. Their bench is really thin. They only have 10 guys, if I'm counting correctly, assuming Terry's out, and their bench is Javon Carter, Drummond, Bidham, Terry Taylor, and then Phillips. It's really thin as far as Chicago. So you should get huge minutes for the Bulls taking on Utah, which is one of the worst defenses in all of basketball. Can you give me a power ranking of the Bulls tonight?
Sure. I would have to go, I think, with Kobe White first, but I do think he may struggle a little bit with Chris Dunn attached to him. But over the course of the entire game, he should be fine. DeRozan, I think DeRozan's more interesting, actually, if he actually gets up this. I mean, this is the nut matchup. Utah is just this is a great game to target. And it's a great game on both sides to target. But so I think I'd actually probably lean DeRozan number 1 now that I think about it more. But Kobe White is probably somewhere in the mix with Vooch for 2 and 3. And then you got like Io, Caruso. Drummond really busted hard the other night as like when we had no value and he was like kind of a value piece. But
just my question is, how many minutes will he get alongside Vuk? It's just, it doesn't seem like the matchup where it would happen.
Yeah.
But the follow up to that is the Bulls are just, they don't have a lot of options. So maybe they kind of have to run them together somewhat.
Yeah. I would go back. I think going back to him is not bad a little bit in this one, but I think the key is I think DeRozan, and I think you go DeRozan, Vooch, and then Io is certainly in play too, just because of its toughness pricing. But he's had some big games. He can pay that off. This is just such a good matchup all around. But on the other side,
by the way, I just want to say before you pivot over, the minutes projection for Chicago, kind of hinted at it a couple times. We just got an update with Terry being out. That doesn't seem like it matters, but White's now projected for 39. He could play more than that. Ayuk projected for 38. DeRozan 38. Vuk at 36. Caruso 31. Drummond still just 18, but that's the most off the bench. It's the starters are going to play a lot is the moral there. But go ahead, talk about the Jazz.
The Jazz. That's where there's a lot here. So we got to figure this out, right? And this is a matchup with I think from like a. I mean, obviously, so everyone was on Sexton the other night, and Clarkson was obviously very popular too. But they all like Sexton over. I was on Clarkson first. I mean, this is Clarkson is just, he will take any usage that you allow him to take. And when big usage players are down, he is the guy you want. I think John Collins is certainly a good play tonight. He's just too cheap. He's going to get 30 plus minutes most likely at 4K, unless they went back to they decided to play let Taylor Horton Tucker run the offense a little bit more. That could happen, but I don't really
think
see
it
it
happens tonight.
Yeah,
I think Dunn gets his run.
I do too. And then you couldn't pay me to play Luka.
Samanic?
But yeah, I could play. Sensible is he's raw, but he's a scorer. He was an Ohio State kid. He was a good scorer. If you watch him the other night, he just has more in him. It's just I don't know if I don't really like any of the matchups because let's think this out, right? Kobe White's probably gonna have Chris Dunn on him. Io is probably the matchup to exploit because he'll probably have Colin Sexton on him.
The sensible thing, by the way, just got to jump back for a second. 0.6 fantasy points within the season. Go ahead.
White is a fine matchup. Sexton probably gets a little bit tougher with Io, but it's fine. Sensible probably has Caruso on him. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking that's probably not good unless they change that around. But Sensible would be the guy I want, but I'm scared of the matchup.
Why would they throw Caruso on Sexton?
Yeah, they could do that too. But Io is pretty good too as well.
Yeah. The sensible thing too, I don't watch college basketball. When I was looking at his college basketball numbers, I did see he scored a ton in college, and the usage has been there, fine at 19%, almost 20% so far in a small sample, 107 minutes. Shamanets as well, pretty good usage. I think it's in the 20s, 21.55%, 0.89 fantasy points per minute, so much better in his sample. Either one of these samples are huge, less than 200 minutes, but they don't play a ton, and obviously we have not had this situation with Utah, all these dudes being out at once. They're both kind of fit. Can you play them? Sure. Large field stuff, you want them in the mix, I guess. But neither do I feel great about. I don't know how necessary either one are. We didn't mention Collins. I feel pretty good about Collins having a strong game tonight. Once again,
I love Collins tonight.
Okay, go ahead. Give me the thought in Collins.
No, it's just he's going to get a little bit of everything. They just don't have many other options. So he's versatile. He can play the center. He can play the power forward spot. He's going to get a bunch of minutes. He's a capable fantasy producer. There's not much to say. He should be fine with Vooch. Should be good for his offensive game.
Still waiting for news. Probably not going to get it on Giannis. Giannis playing the late game, back half of the ESPN doubleheader. He's got that Achilles. He was at shoot around, but I think it's legit something to monitor. There's a legit chance he doesn't play. We did get Jabari Smith in. DeAndre Ayton's doubtful with his hand. I assume he's not playing. Teammate Jeremy Grant does have a quad. He's questionable. Kamara is ill. He's questionable too. Doesn't matter a ton. Just trying to see what else. LeBron's questionable, but LeBron's going to play, right? It's an island game for the Lakers. And they're still jockeying for position. They're kind of officially in the top 10 just because there's such a break there, but they want to move up when it comes to the playoff standings. Let's get out of this game. We got 3 more left. We got crunch time coming up in about 10, 15 minutes or so. TJ's warming up in the wings.
The wheel quick.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about the wheel. Terrible job hosting. I forgot that was today's giveaway.
You're good. But
all I can think of is
every day, we're only doing one winner on the wheel today.
Cheap corporate.
I love the RG logo, but next time we got to get the socks. We got to get the socks in the middle of the wheel.
Socks is the picture. All right. That's
good though. That's a pretty nice looking wheel.
All right. So let's see who the winner is.
We're giving away a week free of RG Premium. If you're not aware, this was done in the Discord channel, RotoGrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. Do check that out. That's how you get yourself eligible.
Ray Bill 720. Awesome. All right, I'll shoot you a message in the Discord.
When is Butthole going to win? I can't take this.
It's rigged. It's obviously rigged against Butthole. He's going to let us know in chat in a few seconds that it's rigged. But for sure, it's obviously there's no other logical explanation. Let's talk about the Thunder and the aforementioned Blazers. 224 is a total. The Thunder, they are massive favorites because the Thunder are good. The Blazers are terrible. 13-point favorite on the road, which is just a monster total, monster number. But, the Blazers are just that bad. And OKC is fully healthy. There's no Jalen Williams, the one you don't care about, not the good Jalen Williams. Thibault, Kamara, Grant, all questionable. Ayton's almost definitely not going to play. He's got that hand. He's doubtful. Man, Portland stinks. I know Anthony Simons projects pretty good. And we've seen him every once in a while have those ceiling games. The whole stench of the Portland side, I have a hard time getting behind. Grant projects okay as well, but I don't think I'm playing Portland stuff unless things really open up, or I need some pivots because I have a backloaded lineup and things aren't going the way I want them to go. Or if I have Giannis in and he's out and I'm scrambling, and I like OKC, love the players, but are they really going to have to play 37, 36, 35 minutes? I love SGA. And Williams and Holmgren, I like all those guys, but this is mostly a scratch off. If I'm only playing a few lineups, that's what I'm doing. Your thoughts, Kirkwood?
Yeah, Shea lost his streak. He had 8 games in a row with 30-plus real points going, and then the back-to-back obviously hurt him against the Lakers. I think this is a great spot for him tonight. If this game somehow magically stays close, he's going to go absolutely nuts. So I like him as one of the top studs tonight. There's obviously blowout risk there, but I think he's going to get there no matter what. I'm fine with Simons, but I think this is a good time to play. And people don't want to play Duop, because if the price increased to 5,600, Nurk just had how many rebounds against this?
It's the one hiccup they have. They're the second worst rebounding team in basketball. Number 1 is Washington by a good margin, but OKC is the
this
second
guy can
worst
rebound.
team.
He can hit threes. This guy's
He'll shoot too. He'll shoot his threes.
I like him.
He's like 30. I thought he was a young pro. He's sneaky old. I think he's close to 30. So yeah. Just if you're thinking this guy's a good young prospect, he's not. I think he played overseas or something. Yeah. That doesn't matter. We don't care how old he is as long as he gets us some fantasy points. He's 27. I added some years
27.
there.
He's 27. Yeah, he's
same
27.
point, though. He's not a prospect.
We're not rounding up to 30 in basketball yet.
Yeah. All right. Anything else we should say as far as this game, or shall we move on?
I just wanted to add something about Kirk's boy that never wins. He doesn't have a Discord, so he's never entered. That's why he doesn't win.
Butthole, what you let me down, Butthole?
You gotta tell your boy to create a Discord account.
Butthole not on you need to save face here and interact. You need to tell us why you're not on Discord. And if
it reminds me of go ahead, Steve.
No, that was fine.
Yeah, so it reminds me of a famous quote from Michael Scott. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky. That's Butto. You're missing all these shots. If you're not in Discord, you're missing. You can't even take. Yeah, get in Discord. Then you can start complaining about being rigged. All right, we got two more games before we yield to crunch time. Some premier names, some big spends. If Giannis goes, for sure he's interesting. 227.5 is a total. Milwaukee, Golden State. It's kind of high. 227.5. Reasonably tight. The Bucks are 3-point dogs currently. We know Giannis is questionable. We won't know his status probably until the first 4 games have tipped off, most likely. Stay tuned. Otherwise they're fully healthy. Crowder's good to go. Well, Middleton's out, but he's been out for a long time. Golden State is legit fully healthy. Wiggins and Podzimski, both good to go tonight. Do the best you can do. Is Portis too high now as far as his asking price? Well, we have an if then that'll tell you if he can still play Portis, and I think I might have accidentally closed it out. So much for my seamless segue. I will throw it to you, and I'll pull it back up in a second. But your thoughts as far as Bucks Warriors?
Yeah, if what did you say? If we play Portis with Giannis out, or is Giannis in?
Yeah, no. If Giannis is out, I think you're going to want. They're still meat in the bone.
Yes, definitely. There definitely is, especially in this matchup. They're gonna need him. He's gonna play a ton. Lillard always has a little fire out in the Bay.
Homecoming game.
I mean, yeah.
Close enough. I think it's your
He's had a million of them. But he usually brings a little extra. But, I'm really not interested. It's probably 8,800. He was lastly, now 92. It's not a huge, terrible increase, but I'm really not that interested unless Giannis is out. I think it's Giannis and Curry if Giannis is in and nothing else.
So if we happen to get Giannis out, or if then we're giving Lillard a 54-point projection, median projection on DK, which is just that he becomes an awesome play. 52 on FanDuel. He's jumping off the board as a extreme DK value. Pat Bev will be a DK value as well. We'll give him a 26, 27 DK points in 26 minutes, assuming he starts, assuming they announce he starts. And Bobby Portis would still have a 37-point DK projection, 36 on FanDuel. So still meat on that bone. Brook Lopez, around a break-even, a break-even play. Not my favorite, but sure, I guess you can play him. We got to knock out Sacramento and the Lakers. 240 is the total, high and tight, right? Lakers are 3-point favorites here. We do have LeBron officially questionable, but I'd be shocked if he didn't play. Everybody else that matters, Davis is officially probable with his Achilles. Sacramento fully healthy. Sasha Vezenkov has been out for a while with his ankle. He doesn't matter so much. As big spends go, I think Anthony Davis is really, really interesting. You could pivot, off of Giannis to Davis. And, you have some salary to play with. You can just sort of again, you can backload lineups tonight. You have plenty of stuff to work with. At least 3 games are pretty appealing. The Jazz, Chicago being the other one. But, Sacramento and the Lakers. What do you got for me?
I mean, I like all 4 of the stars here. I think this game, is going to play competitive. I think the Kings stink in general, but I think they should be up for this game. And this game should play fast. Kings play, they're when they play with De'Aaron Fox, they're up there in pace, but they're 12th in the season in pace. 6th with the Lakers, 6th in pace for the Lakers. So I think this is a really good game from a pace standpoint. They both don't defend the 3-point line, and there's plenty of stocks in this from each side too. So I like AD, I like Braun, I like Sabonis, I like Fox. I even like D'Angelo Russell a little bit. Now, obviously, I wouldn't play. I would only play one of these stars together.
Salary's a thing,
but I think it's a great to try to make a little mini game stack of the stars. With one star from each team on your builds and for the late night hammer here tonight. Because I think Anthony Davis gives it to Sabonis tonight.
I like Davis too. I think he's my favorite star in this game. Ownership wise, we currently have him at 14%. The most highly owned player currently, Reeves at 13. This is DK. LeBron at 12, Fox at 11, Sabonis around 9. Russell at 8. He had an incredible game last time.
A lot of revenge. A little monk revenge too in this game.
The Lakers kind of threw him away, right? You might have been cut by the Lakers, if I remember correctly.
So stupid. He's like the perfect Laker. They need someone who can come in and absolutely score on the second unit I don't understand. I mean, maybe he got more.
Well, they have Russell's kind of that guy. Now he's starting, though. But wasn't Russell the guy coming off the bench? I don't remember if they had them both together. Maybe I'm combining years. I'm not certain. But I understand the point you're making. Anything. We just got an update, by the way, as far as projections. Let me see if I can get anything new or interesting. I mean, it's probably just a little tinkering here and there. No news has come in, right? I don't think so, unless I missed it on the Twitter. Maybe some Orlando stuff.
Kyle Murray must have changed somebody a rebound or something. One rebound.
Hey, they're on top of things. I appreciate the combing through. This is interesting. Yeah, so very first optimal does still have 3 Cavs. It's got 2 players for Philadelphia. No surprise. It's got a Bull and it's got a Jasmine. That's basically the teams, right? And then it's got Kawhi. Kawhi happens to hit the optimal. Tim is telling us that Wendell Carter is out.
Yeah,
we got to think: is Goga going to be a thing? Is Goga going to start?
Whoever starts is a thing, and also you gotta play some Uncle Mo.
It's Goga.
Because who else could it be? Because they're without Isaac as well. It's definitely Goga starting. Oh boy, TJ popped in here for a second and made a little cameo appearance. Oh jeez, are we gonna get roped in? He's a good fantasy point minute player. It's an awesome matchup versus Washington. And is Washington going to counter by starting Holmes against them? Or are they going to start Kuzma at the 5?
I don't think they care. Like, what the
Do
hell?
they care?
They're not trying to win a game.
Yeah. Well, again, they're locked in. They're locked into the worst possible spot you can be locked in. Essentially, not mathematically, but like if you're living in the real life, if you're not in fantasy land.
Kuz just wants his numbers. Poole wants numbers now to try to say, like, save face, like his signing was okay.
We have let's see, who else is coming in with TJ? I don't think it's Tim. I saw Tim hanging out. Will,
Chief, right?
Will's knocking on the door, and Keith Eyster. He's one of the returning champions from yesterday as well. He was on yesterday's show. I'm not sure if we're fully ready for crunch time.
The Iceman. The Iceman.
Yes. Or the Eysters, Fleisters, depending on whatever you prefer.
Oh, yeah.
But, let's just do the countdown, Kirk. What are you ready for this? I think this is your first time with the new changeover. 3,
do a new changeover.
2, 1. Technology. What, you didn't see that coming, did you?
I watched yesterday, so I did.
You didn't. Behind the scenes, it's different. You got to anticipate these things. In any event, but
Chief's got to figure out how to get a RotoGrinders backdrop here.
I think what happens is Roth has the same issue, and not to speak for Chief, but I think what happens is it slows down the computer. I think is that the issue there, Will?
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that's the issue. But right now, I can't enter my 150 lineups on DraftKings in this $4 whatever this many. So it's very frustrating. It's saying I have restrictions, but I don't understand this. Like, come on, DraftKings. Like, what is this crap?
Are you multi-entering?
All this time building. Yeah, I'm running 150, but I'm taking all this time building these lineups. Now I can't even get them in on the site. Like, this is pretty frustrating. Like, what in the world? And then like
that doesn't happen to FanDuel every other day too.
Well, we could say that now that FanDuel's not the sponsor.
Listen,
they're not the sponsor, right?
No, you're good.
Well, if they were, they wouldn't be now.
Listen, can I finish my rant? Thank you.
I thought I was free. I thought I was free because we were no longer they were no longer the sponsor. So I take that back. Sorry, Chief. Go ahead.
Then you say I need help, and they're like, "Oh, we'll respond in 4 hours." The slate's going to kick off in 40 minutes. Like, I need you to fix
4
this.
hours.
Like, what?
You got to go to the live chat.
What? Yeah, I went to the live chat. That's what they're saying. Oh, somebody responded in 4 hours. Let me just turn my location.
Hey,
Chief. Give me his name. I'll get him fired.
Chief,
give me his name.
I was just looking at something. Try and start a brand new CSV to upload your stuff into, because I was just looking and the first one I downloaded was for yesterday's slate, and so it wouldn't upload. So try a new one now, because I just did that and it looks like it's got a different file name than they usually have over there.
Oh my god! All right, So I need to re-download all the. Never mind. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me hit the build button. Let me just go back. Thank you. Sorry about this, Keith. I didn't mean to kick the show off this way, but like I spent all this time trying to make sure that I could rebuild this thing, and it's just sitting here not working.
I've been there, man. It's very stressful.
Like. Listen, because I'm not putting in all this work to sit on the sidelines tonight. You got to be kidding me. Because
There's nothing worse.
Go ahead, Kirk.
No, you upload it with like 30 seconds left, and you think you got it, and then it's a CSV, and the error, like there's nothing worse getting stuck with 150 same lineups.
Yeah,
I just restart the router. That solves like 99% of my problems. That usually works for me, but.
I can't do that right now, Dean. We're live on the show. If I restart the router, I'm going to drop off the live feed. So,
Yeah, fair enough. Kirko, we got to go. It's crunch time. Give the people your field the plum play. Who's going to be breaking the slate tonight?
Who was my field? Well, I think the late night hammer game is going to be breaking the slate. So I think it's going to be Anthony Davis is going to break the slate tonight.
Okay.
And let's go De'Aaron Fox with him.
You got two filling the plums. All right, fair enough. Little game stack there. You do a little more of a salary cap, but there's a lot of cheapies that are on the board. I'll let these guys talk about Gogo Batase. I'm curious what our projection team's what they're gonna throw on them. But we have to step aside and get out of here and make way for crunch time. You got TJ, you got Will, and you have Keith Eyster. TJ, take it away.
We got crunch time. We got a fun slate with a bunch of teams on back-to-backs, a bunch of injuries to sort through. And I got two of the sharpest minds in the biz to help me break it down. First off, handling cash games tonight. It couldn't have been easy to be on the projections team today, Keith. We got Keith Eyster, the Iceman, as some call him. How you doing?
Yeah, doing well. Got some news for sure. It's getting to be that time of the year in NBA where we see tons of injuries pop up, tons of 10-day contracts, two-way contracts, all kinds of moving parts with rosters and everything. So this is definitely where information becomes key. It's always key in NBA, but this is the time of year where you really need to be paying close attention to the news.
Couldn't agree more. And handling tournaments tonight, hopefully able to get his own tournament lineups in. We got Will Priester, Chief Justice. How you doing, Chief?
I will let you know here shortly. My good friend Derek Rager says take out the cartridge and blow it. Yeah, we're going back to the NES days for sure. Derek, put some, wipe some alcohol on that thing. Make sure Duck Hunt can work properly. Yeah, it's real struggle here, but and usually I can think through these things, but see, I'm trying to get it in like right before the show, and I'm like, oh shoot, I got a show. I can't be sitting here struggling. I got to get this thing in. So, all right, let me go ahead and export this. Hopefully it works. If not, then guys, I don't know. We'll
that was the interesting thing I noticed with DraftKings just now is their CSV when you hit that download button, it's titled differently today than it is every other day. So if you just go to like the next one on your download tab, it's still from yesterday or the last time you played. And so you got to find the one that's just from today because they titled it a little bit differently. So hopefully everyone's able to get their lineups in, figure everything out. And if you are building 150 lineups today, or even just one, but it's extra easy if you're playing lots of them. You can use SimLabs as the expert DFS lineup generation tool from RotoGrinders and Fantasy Labs, and now you can use it for the NBA. With a few clicks, you can have hundreds of well-built, correlated lineups for whatever you're playing. Running out of time before lock. Quickly build a set of lineups to fill out your entries. Want to see who might be falling under the radar? Use the tool to examine the players the field may be sleeping on. All Combo and NBA subscribers currently have access to NBA SimLabs, and you can also get access to RotoGrinders Premium with a little bit of a test run. You can get the 3-day trial pass, get access to every single sport except NASCAR at the low price of $19.99. There's never been a better time to join the RotoGrinders community. So find the 3-day trial link in the description below. Sign up today. And, of course, check out the RotoGrinders props and pick'em package. The experts at RotoGrinders projections team take our premium stats, comb through the market for any inefficiencies. Using our model, you can easily see which lines are off, where to find them, how likely the prop will hit based on our tool. And you can also try out the props and pick'em package as a 3-day pass. It'll auto-renew after the 3 days are up. Keith, you're someone on the projections team. You work some scores and odds stuff as well. I know we got a nice squad ride pick today with the chalky campaign. You got any bets for props that stand out to you today outside of the campaign one?
Let's see. The one I gave out on the morning grind last night was Ayo Dosunmu over 14.5 points. He's been playing a ton of minutes lately. And his usage has been up. Obviously has that awesome matchup against a shorthanded Utah team. I believe that did move to 15.5. I'm not sure if there's still a 14.5 out there. I definitely like that still. The squad ride pick, I'm definitely in on that. I'm trying to think what else I put in here. Let me just real quick pull up scores and odds here. Let's see. Sorry about that.
In the meantime, Chief, how are the lineups going? Did you get them in?
I did not.
Oh, we are gonna be scrambling on today's show, everybody. But that's all right. That's what happens sometimes, especially when we got all these different injury news. So, what you got for us, Keith?
Yeah, Colin Sexton over 21.5 points. I like that one a ton. Definitely one I'm tailing from the guys over on scores and odds. Let's see. Damian Lillard over 36.5 points, rebounds and assists. Giannis questionable. If he gets ruled out, that's going to be an absolute smash. So wanted to get in early on that one. Let's see here.
I like it. I think that's enough of the list.
Yeah, that's a good handful for the people.
props and pick 'em package every day. You're going to be making money. Make sure you check it out. Keith, why don't you give us a little bit of an overview on the slate we got today, because lots of injuries, lots of back-to-backs, lots to sort through.
Yeah, all kinds of things to sort through here. Cleveland is the one that jumps out right away. They are extremely shorthanded. They have an awesome matchup against Atlanta. Donovan Mitchell is out again. Evan Mobley was injured last night. Unfortunately, he is out, and Max Strus is out again. So shorthanded and in a phenomenal matchup. The 76ers are really shorthanded again. Embiid obviously going to be out for a while. Tyrese Maxey is now joining him, unfortunately, with that concussion. D'Anthony Melton's still out, and now Kyle Lowry is out on the second night of a back-to-back. So Philly even more shorthanded than they were yesterday. Utah remains extremely shorthanded. Lauri Markkanen has been out for a couple of games. Walker Kessler has been out for a couple of games. Keontae George still dealing with that illness that burned us all a couple of days ago. And now Taylor Hendricks joins them as out today as well. Just as we were jumping on here, got Wendell Carter Jr. out, which provides some value at the center position here potentially. Things we're still waiting on. Giannis is the major one. I think that's a true questionable tag for him. It's in that 10 o'clock window, so we may not have that news. Obviously, that is slate-altering news anytime Giannis misses a game. Middleton, of course, still out for the Bucks as well. So definitely going to be some key decisions to be made around Giannis. Triple J is still questionable for the Grizzlies. They're all priced up. Their rotation is a mess. I'm not sure that we need to do anything with the Triple J news anyhow. LeBron has his usual questionable tag. I assume that he will be in, being as it's a island game for the Lakers. Another situation that we really need to keep an eye on. They could potentially be extremely shorthanded again, just like we saw the other day. Scoot and Malcolm Brogdon, Shadon Sharp all still out. DeAndre Ayton listed doubtful. And then in addition to that, they have Jeremy Grant, Toumani Camara, and Matisse Thybulle all listed questionable. So could be some value opening up in Portland there potentially later on.
All right. Well, why don't you take us through position by position, who you're playing today in cash? You got a nice, easy start at the point guard position because Noto has two of them tagged. Sorry, I'm still looking at DraftKings. So we'll start, of course, on FanDuel, but I got to assume Darius Garland and Cameron Payne likely will be over there as well.
They are indeed both core tags. Cameron Payne does have that shooting guard eligibility, which is key because the point guard position is loaded tonight. Darius Garland jumps off the page, mentioned Cleveland shorthanded, awesome matchup against the Hawks. Cam Payne with Philly very shorthanded, and Kyle Lowry out now as well. I am aware of the illness issue for Cameron Payne. He still played through that yesterday and played 23 minutes. We have him projected for 30, so maybe there's some slight risk there, but he's so cheap, and Philly is they're shorthanded enough where I think even if he's still feeling the effects of that, he tries to work through it. But he's not listed on the injury report at all, so feel pretty good about Cam Payne. I definitely think he's safe enough for cash games. If you want to try a tournament fade at this massive ownership, I'll let Chief speak to that a little bit more. Dean Wade, another core tag over here, super cheap, was just incredible last night in the fourth quarter in a comeback win over the Celtics. Have him projected to start now for Mobley. 28 minutes is what we have him projected for. I think there's significant upside. If he's playing well again, I don't think mid-30s minutes is out of the question for Dean Wade. And then Darius Garland, I believe, or Jared Allen is the one I haven't mentioned yet, has that power forward eligibility, which is super nice since there's only one center position here on FanDuel. Same situation as Garland and Wade with this awesome matchup against Atlanta and a shorthanded team.
I like it.
Does it for the core tags. Let's go ahead and go through some of the position stuff. Starting at the point guards, you're definitely locking Darius Garland in there. Cam Payne, you can play at point guard or shooting guard. As I mentioned, it is a strong position. We have Chris Dunn stepping into potentially a larger role with Keontae George out. Currently have him projected to start against Chicago. He is just 4,700 and projected for 32 minutes. So nice value there. Kobe White is in a really good spot as well against a Utah team that's shorthanded and does not play any defense. And then obviously I have to mention Damian Lillard. If Giannis ends up getting ruled out, you definitely want to find a way to get Damian Lillard into your lineup. At the shooting guard position, we have Chris Dunn has shooting guard eligibility. Cameron Payne, who I've already mentioned, has shooting guard eligibility. Kelly Oubre on a shorthanded Philly team is a very good look. Excellent game from him yesterday. The usage rate should be sky high again without Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid there. Sam Merrill we have projected to start as well, just joining all the Cleveland guys that have been mentioned already, and Karis LeVert as well, another Cleveland guy. At the small forward position, Oubre has the small forward eligibility as well. Tobias Harris, another guy who should be picking up plenty of usage here for Philly and is grading out really well in projections. Franz Wagner, love that matchup for him against Washington. He has historically performed outstanding against Washington. We know his minutes are secure, so I do like him against Orlando. Denny Avdia, if you need to go down a little bit more, looks pretty good. Let's see. I think that about covers the small forward position. At power forward, Jared Allen is definitely the guy that you want to be locking in as the core play. Dean Wade as well. So power forward, pretty easy. Don't even really have anything else to add. If for some reason you prefer Samanic, I just think Dean Wade is far safer, but Samanic is another guy we have projected to start. He's 3,800. If you absolutely need that $200, I think Samanic is cheap enough you can play him, but I definitely do prefer Dean Wade. And then at the center position, I think it's one of two choices. Nikola Vucevic has an awesome matchup against Utah if you have the money. And if not, Goga Batadze has been announced as the starter here for the injured Wendell Carter Jr. So at 4,100, only projected for 24 minutes. There's definitely risk there. Mo Wagner is certainly lurking. We've seen Goga start and play less than 20 minutes in these situations before. The flip side of that is it's an awesome matchup against Washington here. They allow the most rebounds in the NBA. So Goga, assuming that he's going to be out there for low 20s minutes, also looks like an outstanding play at center.
Yeah, that's one that I'm very torn on for tournaments right now. I'm currently getting to a lot more Mo Wagner than I am Goga Batadze, but which I feel like is the right thing to do for tournaments, but it does worry me a little bit. But Chief, why don't you help tell us what the right thing to do for tournaments is here on FanDuel starting at point guard?
Well, I thought I was going to have to sneeze. Then I did have to sneeze.
Delayed reaction.
Yeah, it happened while we're on the air. For me, at point guard, I mean, I don't think there's a secret. I think you go all in with campaign here. I mean, 4K, like what am I doing, right? Like, I know he's a cash play, but he's going to open up so much on FanDuel where, the price is a little bit more tight. I definitely think, he's a good play. So I think you need to be playing him. I think DeJounte Murray is my tournament play on FanDuel where everybody's cheap. Nobody wants to play him tonight. He's 9,100 facing Cleveland, but this ain't your mama's Cleveland. This is a depleted Cleveland team or slightly depleted. Down Mobley tonight. Down Mitchell. I really think DeJounte Murray has been playing really well in with the absence of Trae Young. So I think he's a guy that we should be playing at the point guard position. I think Kobe White's another guy that we should be playing at the point guard position, and not to exclude Damian Lillard if Giannis is out. At the shooting guard position, obviously we're probably going to be playing some Kelly Oubre. I think we need to include him. Sam Merrill picking up ownership as well. I think he's just okay. I'm not going to completely X him out. I do have some, but he's not my highest owned. But I do think he's an okay play. I think Colin Sexton for Utah fits his dad already going to be down a couple bodies, and now they're without Market, and I think Colin Sexton is really going to be relied on to score a fair amount of points tonight. So I like him. Also probably like him in the pick'em streets if you can get him as well. I'm not sure where his line is. I think it's been somewhere between 19, 20 and a half today. If you can get it somewhere in that range, I think taking the over should be pretty advantageous for you there. And then another guy that's been sneaky good here, Austin Reeves facing the Kings. I think, late night hammer touch spot with him. At small forward, I have one really nice tournament play that is Paolo Banchero. I know we're going to be gravitating towards some other guys, but this matchup with Washington is one of the best in the league. Washington is still at the bottom of the totem pole in terms of defensive efficiency. Yes, they are at the end or at the last in the league in terms of defensive efficiency. Really like Paolo there. I think this is a spot where he could get off and do some serious damage. Don't hate Sadiq Bey in that Cleveland game as well. I know you'll have Okoro that you can also squeeze in there. I don't hate that. I'm just kind of doing I have a rule where I took the cheap Cleveland guys, by the way, fellas, and I think I've got Wade, Okoro, Merrill, and I think I did 0 to 2. I think I won't have more than 2 in any build, but I did want to put that out there. That's a rule I have in there today. And then, of course, I like DeMar DeRozan today. He's not getting nearly as much ownership as I thought he would have. But I definitely think, even though he's a little over 8K on FanDuel, I still think he is in the mix. His upside, he definitely has more upside since we've seen Zach LaVine continuing to sit. And then, of course, if you want to get LeBron in there, I'm not going to tell you to fade LeBron against the Kings. Ultimate questionable tag every day, but we've seen his upside in certain spots this season. And then power forward and center, I'm going to group them together because I can play Jared Allen at power forward or center on FanDuel, so I'm going to play either one. I really like John Collins today. He's at the top of my list, a guy that I'm going to be getting in there as well. And then also I like Tobias Harris at power forward. Like, I think he's sneaky. I don't think he's going to get as much ownership as he should, but definitely like him. Then also at the center position, I do like Vooch at the center position. I like AD. So yeah, those are some of the guys that I like today for tournaments.
How are you handling? Actually, this is more of a DraftKings question, so I'm going to save it for over there. Let's pivot over to DraftKings. And of course, if you got your questions, get them in. Smash that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We got 1,200 people watching right now, so we got to get these likes way up on all the sites. I'm talking YouTube, I'm talking Twitter, I'm talking Facebook. Let's bump these likes way up here, and I'll take questions, of course, from the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat first. Then we'll be going to the YouTube chat after that. Heath, why don't you take us through a cash build on DraftKings?
All right, let's do it. Noto has 5 guys tagged over here, so making my job a little bit easier. Very similar names. You've got all the Cavs guys again, Darius Garland, Jarrett Allen, and Dean Wade, who is even cheaper over here on DraftKings at just $3,200. I think on FanDuel, I think you could get away with not playing Wade. On DraftKings, I think you definitely want Dean Wade in there. Cameron Payne, another core tag again at just $4,100. And then Goga Bitadze is tagged as a core play over here. Because we can play the 2 centers, I don't think it's not near as tough of a decision. And he's also cheaper over here on DraftKings. So I do agree that Goga should be in your cash game lineup here at just $3,200 for his salary. That doesn't leave us many spots to fill out, but we'll go ahead and go through here by position. At point guard, we've got two of them tagged with point guard only, so definitely using one of your guard utility spots on between Cameron Payne and Darius Garland. Chris Dunn does have that shooting guard eligibility, which is nice. Kobe White also in play if you want to use up another util spot on Kobe White. Love this spot for Kobe White tonight. At shooting guard, Kelly Oubre looks really solid again with his increased role here for a shorthanded Philly team. I think Karis LeVert at 6K is absolutely in play. Should see tons of usage off of that bench. If you need even more value plays, Sam Merrill should be starting and have a much bigger role for shorthanded Cleveland. At the small forward position, Oubre has small forward as well. So does LeVert. The only other guy, I think you probably plug one of those guys into small forward here. I would consider Tobias Harris as well. The price tag is up there at $7,800, but again, it's just a really shorthanded Philly team. The usage should be there for Tobias in this spot. At power forward, Paolo looks really good, like that $8,600 price tag. Love the matchup against Washington. If you're not playing Tobias at small forward, you can play him here at power forward. Dean Wade, obviously the core tag, you want to plug him into one of these forward spots, power forward or the forward utility. There's enough value now. You can get up to Giannis. Honestly, that's a little bit risky just because of that questionable tag. And you have to rework some things, obviously, if he gets ruled out. Dame would obviously be your primary spend up there. Bobby Portis would look really good. Patrick Beverley we saw play really well without Giannis as well. But this is the Goga thing is kind of a new development here. So I'm leaning towards putting Giannis in there. And making sure that I have at least a 2v2 with him. Like, I think we have a good chance to get that news by the Chicago game. Vooch looks really good at center. Kobe White is a guy that I love. Even Ayo Dosunmu, I would be fine. DeRozan, I would be fine. I think there's a lot of targets in Chicago, Utah. So I think building with Giannis in, and if he gets ruled out, hopefully you get that news by 9 o'clock. You would have some options to swap some things around there. But Giannis is obviously in a great spot against Golden State if he does indeed go tonight. Center options, Goga has the core tag. Jared Allen also has the core tag. So that takes up your center and your util spot.
All right, Chief, break us down. What are we doing in tournaments here on DraftKings?
Yeah, so in tournaments, and I'm going to my player pool here because I've already run my script. I've got it in. It did go in, thankfully. So I didn't have to be scrambling while I'm answering questions. It's in there, and then now I can make any adjustments if I have to, barring anything weird happening. But for tournaments, I got a fair amount of exposure. Once again to SGA, I think him at the top of the totem pole. Like, we're going to be spending down in some spots tonight, and SGA is just proving that. I mean, he's just going to continue to crush every night. So at 10-7, I like him. I've got a whole heap of Darius Garland, obviously. Got the D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, and I do have the lock button on Cam Payne for what it's worth. So Cam Payne, if he fails tonight, then I won't win anything because he's in every single lineup. Now, I say fail. I mean, he could end at 25 and I might be okay. If he ends at like 12, I'm dead. Like I've got him. I've got the lock button on Cam Payne. I do not have the lock button on Chris Dunn though, but I do have him as well as I think I already mentioned DeJounte Murray. At the shooting guard position, I have tons, and I do mean tons of Kelly Oubre Jr., Chris Dunn, Sam Merrill, Karis LeVert. I'm well over the field on Karis LeVert only because I feel like the field is going to gravitate to the cheap Cleveland guys tonight, and they're just going to ignore LeVert. And he's absolutely the other guy on this team outside of Garland and Allen that could put up 40-plus fantasy points. Like, if he gets 35 minutes, he could destroy this salary. So I have about 40%. Well, let me check that. I don't want to lie to you guys. I wanted about 40. Let me see where I'm at right this minute. Yeah, I've got 35% LeVert, which is, I think, about 20% past the field. So I got him. I've got some Buddy Hield, Austin Reeves, Jordan Clarkson, Colin Sexton. Those are a fair amount of my shooting guard targets. At small forward, I'm a little bit more spread out there. I once again, I like this Atlanta-Cleveland game, so I did run some Sadiq Bey. I ran some Okoro. I ran plenty of Franz Wagner against Washington. I like that spot for this team. I've got tons of Tobias Harris versus Memphis, where now they've got Maxey and Embiid out. So I like that. I've got DeRozan. I was trying to get over the field on Kawhi. I really want to get over the field on Kawhi. I think I'm right with the field. I couldn't quite get there, but I am over the field with LeBron. So that's small forward. At power forward, I've got tons of Paolo Banchero. Well over the field on Paolo Banchero. He's one of my favorite targets tonight for tournaments. Definitely a guy that I like. I've got plenty of John Collins. I know he's got an elevated price tag. I don't care. He's been playing the minutes. We already know that Marcus is going to be out tonight. Tougher matchup with the Bulls, maybe. Don't care. Going to be playing him. I've got plenty of Jalen Williams tonight in this Portland matchup. He's a guy that we've seen go for 40-plus fantasy points fairly consistently. And so for him, definitely want to get some shares of him as well. I do have some Bryce Sensabaugh, some Okoro, some Dean Wade. And then at center, and I'm just going to go over center-only plays. I have my most exposure to Jared Allen. I think I've got about 45% Jared Allen, which is about 15% more in the field. I was able to get in some Goga. I think I've got about 25% Goga, and I'm going to live with whether or not I'm under the field on him. Like if I'm under the field on Goga, like no problem. That was just me. I was really trying to get a little bit less Dean Wade. I had too much Dean Wade to start. I think I had about 40%. I was very uncomfortable with 40% Dean Wade, so Goga helped me cut a great deal of that, and I was just going to do some manual adjustments otherwise. Also, I guess you guys can see I kind of like this OKC team against Portland. I've got a fair amount of Chet Holmgren as well, where the field's I don't feel like the field's going to be too involved with OKC tonight. I'm pretty excited about getting them against a bad team if it can stay close.
One player that I don't think we mentioned at all that I want to say just don't forget about, and it's kind of a whole team that we don't want to forget about, is Portland, because while we obviously no one really wants to ever play Portland, but while we do still are waiting on this Giannis news, but we're also waiting on Jeremy Grant, Tumani Kamara, and a couple other questionable guys on that team. And so in my tournament builds right now, I actually currently have 31% Delano Banton. All those guys, if they're in, I'm obviously going to take that out. But Banton's a guy who played 30 plus minutes in his last start and had a great game. And the matchup is good against OKC. He's somebody that could potentially play blowout or close game. And so he's somebody that I'm getting a lot to, as well as a salary saver. And then I'm got twice as much Mo Wagner as Goga Batadze, which terrifies me, but I'm letting that one rip today. We got some time for questions now. Still 12 minutes till lock. Smash that like button. And yeah, Butthole Jenkins says Jabari Walker season. I got some Jabari Walker as well for the situation that we get Jeremy Grant out. So taking questions from the RotoGrinders Discord live stream chat first. And then, of course, going to YouTube. YouTube, smash that like button. Twitter, smash the like button. Facebook, smash the like button. We're thanking all of you for joining us today. Help us keep the lights on, as Dean likes to say, and smash that like button. DraftKings, it doesn't say cash or tournaments, but I think this is more of just like a optimal type question, Keith. So I'll throw this to you. Goga or Dean Wade straight up, and who is your favorite stud on the slate?
Oh, man, I feel a lot better about Dean Wade's minutes. Goga is a better per minute producer historically, although Dean Wade was pretty darn good last night. I think Dean Wade is safer. So if you're talking about a cash lineup, I would go Dean Wade over Goga. If you're talking about a tournament, I would probably lean Goga in that situation. Favorite spend up on the slate, I would say Anthony Davis is definitely one of them. I think Giannis could potentially be overlooked in this spot. If he ends up playing, he's probably going to be less owned than he should be. So I like getting over the field on Giannis also.
Chief, let's circle back to this whole Goga Batadze situation. Is the fact that Kyle Kuzma is starting at the 5 for Washington, does that worry you and think they might go small? Goga may not play very many minutes, or do you look at that and go, Kyle Kuzma's 6'7", 6'8", whatever he is, Goga is going to be able to do whatever he wants? You're still muted.
Yeah. I think it could go both ways. Here's how I think this plays out. I think if Goga's playing well early, I think they let him run. If Kuzma runs him off the floor, I mean, we could see some Paolo at the 5 here. Like, we really could. I don't think that's out of the question. I mean, they could easily play Paolo at the 5 with Kuzma and Franz, Suggs, Cole Anthony. It's some weird combination of him and Markelle Fultz. Like, they can get really creative because they got a lot of guards. So I don't think that's out of question. That's another reason why I've got so much Paolo Banchero tonight versus the field, that is. So I think that's a possibility. And I definitely think the other Wagner, Mo Wagner, is going to play. Like, I don't think he's going to just sit on the bench. He will play tonight for sure.
Speaking of Banchero, who do you got in a DK GPP, Chief? You got Banchero or Kawhi?
I've got both. If you're asking who I have more of, for sure I have more Banchero. So when I say I've got plenty, like I've got 20% Banchero out of my 150 lineups. I mean, the field's at around 13%. If that tells you anything, or somewhere around. Maybe it bumped up because those guys are out, but I've got 20% Banchero, and I've only got 10% Kawhi, roughly.
Yeah, I only got 11% Banchero. I do wish I had a little bit more of him there. FanDuel Cash, Keith, Sexton, Sabonis, and Goga, or Clarkson, Collins, and Şengün?
That's the first one.
DK, both formats. Keeping it with you here, Keith. Şengün or Vooch?
Prefer Vooch tonight.
DK, GPP, Chief. Can you play Goga and Mo Wagner together?
I wouldn't do it.
No, me neither. I set that rule, max 1 of Goga Batadze and Mo Wagner. DK, large field GPP, 100K up top. He's playing the $4 contest with us today, Chief. Do you think Rashawn Holmes is in play?
Because I'm in it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I think Rashawn Holmes is slightly thin, but I get it. He's 3,800. Like, if they get wonky, he can. I wouldn't have a whole lot of exposure. I wouldn't have more than 5% for what it's worth.
What I would say, my thing with him too is I would only play Rashawn Holmes in a lineup that I'm also playing Goga Batatse, because that to me is where Rashawn Holmes does well. Is if Goga is doing very well and they go, okay, darn, we can't keep Kuzma at the 5. We got to put another big in there. So if I was playing Rashawn Holmes, I'd probably want to play him with Goga Batatse as well. Pivoting over to YouTube here, smash that like button for us, everybody. Keith, do you think it's logical today to just skip Memphis? You want to not play any Memphis?
I think that is completely logical if Jaren Jackson is in. Jackson's the only guy I would even consider. If Jaren Jackson is out, I think you can still skip him, honestly. The other thing to keep an eye on is Jordan Goodwin, Trey Jamison.
Jaren Jackson Jr. is in, by the way.
He is in. All right, then yes, I think you can completely skip Memphis. Yep.
Keith, I'll keep this one with you. What do you think about the Utah big man situation today? They started Samanic at the 5 last game. We got Markkanen out now too. They got Vooch on the other side. That'll be a tough matchup for Collins the whole game. What do you think about Sensabaugh? What do you think about Samanic? And do you think Yurt 7 could be potentially in play as the only guy who can maybe stand up to Vucevic?
I think Collins is going to play the 5, and I think he's going to play a lot of minutes. So I love John Collins in tournaments tonight. Yurt 7 is just not a guy that they trust and that they're willing to run out there. I think at most he gets whatever non-Collins minutes are available, and I think John Collins could potentially play like 36 minutes in this spot. So then you're looking at 12 Omar Yurt 7 minutes.
I got 5% I think you need, in 150 just in case.
I'm totally fine with 5%. Like Collins could get in foul trouble. Collins could get ejected. He could get injured. Unfortunately, like there are all kinds of things that could happen. And in that situation, your 7's probably the next guy
up. Chief, what do you think about James Harden 1% owned in a revenge game today?
I don't hate that. I mean, I don't mind Harden at all. He's at the top of my list, but like if you're saying you're going to play him at 10%, okay, like sure.
I got him at 0.75%. I got him in one of my 150 lineups in a team that I think also has Şengün on it. So that's how I went about that one. What about Fox in a GPP, Chief?
Yes, love Fox.
How do you feel about they kind of worded this like it was a mini stack, but these are 2 different games. How do you feel about individually LeBron James and DeMar DeRozan, Keith?
I like them both a lot tonight. I will lean LeBron as to who my preference is between those 2. But
yeah, they like both of them. They teamed them up together. So, yeah. They were just individually. Do you like each of them?
Yeah, I do.
All right. I'll keep this one with you, Keith. You answered it already, but just in case people tuned in late, because this is a tough one. Doesn't say the format, but just who do you like better, Batatse or Wade on DraftKings? You're only picking one in your lineup. Say it's a single entry. Who are you putting in?
In a single entry, I think I would go Dean Wade. Again, I think Goga does have more upside. I don't expect to see anything close to what Dean Wade put up yesterday from a usage standpoint. But I do feel better about Wade's minutes. Wade is the safer play. Goga probably has more upside.
I'm going to take this one because I do really like this guy today in tournaments. Any love for Niang in GPPs? I actually have a little bit more Niang than Dean Wade today. I'm going to try and get underweight on the Dean Wade chalk. Same thing I'm doing with Goga Batatse and playing Mo Wagner. And I'm playing some Niang as a guy that if he gets hot, he's probably going to be playing over Dean Wade. And even if he doesn't, if he plays 18 minutes and Wade plays 30, well, Niang may still have more fantasy points than Dean Wade in that spot. DKGPP Chief, Kawhi or Fox?
Kawhi.
QQ, Keith, for you, Mr. Relevant says he's a one lineup guy. He's played Jordan Clarkson 12 to 15 times this season. And he feels like he's burned me about 12 to 15 times. Is he dumb for wanting to use him on, I guess this is DK large field, but you can still take it. Is he dumb for wanting to use Clarkson tonight?
Absolutely not. Clarkson's a fantastic tournament play.
I have 27% Clarkson today. He is my 8th highest owned player on the slate, so I'm getting a
You
lot
got
of
way
Clarkson.
more than I have. I have him, but I don't have quite that much.
Would you play Niang and Wade
Sam
together?
Merrill
No.
Sam Merrill's not starting. That is relevant. I still think he plays plenty of minutes. I probably wouldn't play him in cash at this point. Niang is starting.
Ooh, Niang is starting. Interesting. That makes me want to swap around what I have right now and maybe just go 15 to 20% Merrill and bump up the Niang I have. Let's see if that's going to be possible to get
I don't know.
before lock.
I don't think Niang plays 30 minutes though. I think he plays like 18 to 20 minutes. But
I'm in between. I think it's going to be like 24 to 26.
I'll go 22 to 24.
Big one. You hedged right in between us both. Going back to Discord, we'll see if I can get my lineups in, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get that change in anyways. DK, both formats. Oh, got that one already. Chief, who's your favorite spend up in a FanDuel GPP?
Honestly, it's Paulo Banchero at 8,700.
I like it. We got FanDuel GPP single entry. Will, what do you like? How do you like pairing Fox and AD together?
Don't hate it. Don't
Like
mind
that
that one bit.
Like that one quite a bit as well. Is Isaac Okoro okay in a DK GPP, Chief?
Yes.
Listen,
Listen, they're playing the Hawks, man. I don't think people are just like. I wouldn't be overlooking this spot. They're playing the Hawks. They're going to be running all up and down the court. So it's not a blowout.
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't agree more. Who is your feel it in the plums play of the day, Chief?
Paulo Banchero.
Banchero. How about you, Keith?
Yeah.
I'll go Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis. I like that one a lot as well. 1 minute left to lock. Get those lineups in. I'm going to try and get this one in really quick. It's 6:59 right now. Do we think I get it in or not? Let's see. I can't remember what this stupid thing is called. There it is. I found it. Last modified at 59. That's the one. Did we get it? We got it. 150 lineups entered with seconds to spare. I didn't even see what the adjustment is. I just wanted to make sure that I got a little bit less of Sam Merrill. So I dropped Merrill down to 15% and I got up to 21% Niang. So not a big switch, but I did have 30% Sam Merrill before that. Is it good to just totally X out Cleveland for DK tournaments? Absolutely not. You do not want to be Xing out Cleveland today. Payne and Avdia or Sensabaugh and Kuminga in a FanDuel GPP, Keith?
I will go. I mean, it depends on your lineup. Like Payne and Avdia is going to be far more chalky. So if you need to differentiate, I do like the second pairing. But Payne and Avdia is going to project better, but with more ownership.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense as well. It looks like we have hit all the questions. We have hit lock as well. Good luck tonight, everyone. We got some fun tournaments on DraftKings. There's still a lot of news. A lot of news we're waiting on as well. Don't forget to stay on, waiting on to see if Giannis is going to play, because Lillard is going to be one of the best plays on the board, if not the best play on the board.
This is why I hate late swap, by the way. Tonight is why I hate late swap.
We are the opposite, sir. I think
I hate late swap.
That's what I love. I love anytime I'm subbing in for somebody when it's some type of producing or when I was doing the morning grind. If somebody ever needs a sub late at night, I can always go to Keith because he's ready on the late swap. He's watching the games anyways. Like, Keith is my go-to sub to call when somebody needs it at night.
Well, let me say why. Because when there's no late swap, I can play plenty of Giannis or plenty of Dame or plenty of Portis, and then the field has to make a decision on are they going to do it. And guess what? 9 times out of 10, Keith, they're not going to have the stones to play 20% Giannis tonight or 30% Dame because of all the uncertainty. And my thing is, I'm putting my money on the line, so I already know going in. If Giannis plays and I've got 35% Damian Lillard tonight, maybe I'm okay, maybe I'm not, but I'm willing to live with that, right? That's my thought process behind no late swap. Or I'm willing to play 30% Giannis tonight and say, hey, if Giannis is out, I know 30% of my lineups are dead. I'm okay. Like that's my edge in no late swap because the field might have none.
Yeah, there are definitely game theory aspects to both non-late swap and late swap. The way I generally play is I think TJ mentioned this today, like just jamming in some Portland right now. They're grading out terribly because Jeremy Grant, Tamani Kamara, and Matisse Thybulle are all projected in. Those three guys get rolled out, all of a sudden there's crazy value in Portland. So to your point, you could still build that way and you just get burned if the news doesn't break your way. But I just like baking in extra like flexibility later on in the night.
Well, the other thing that made me like that approach so much tonight is we have Milwaukee Golden State at that same time, and then we have the Clippers Lakers ever. I have 30% Banton, but it's going to be very easy to get to 0% if all those guys happen to be in. Like maybe I'll have some uncomfortable things where I'm getting a little Malik Beasley and a little Harrison Barnes, something like that I otherwise wouldn't have wanted to. But it's still going to be very easy to get rid of them out of those lineups because those other strong games we have at 10 p.m. But I think that'll do it. We hopefully you got some advice that'll help you take down a tournament tonight. Hopefully not the 100K up top because I would like that one for myself. But hopefully it's one of us at the very least. And we will see you back here tomorrow for some more Crunch Time, more Grinders Live. And I believe I'm on the morning grind tonight with Stevie as well. So lots more NBA coming. One more question before we get out of here. LBJ and Reeves or Monk FanDuel cash, Keith?
That's really close. I'll go Reeves in that one.
Yeah, it kind of feels like Monk's the tournament guy and Reeves is the cash guy in that situation. I agree with you.
Reeves' minutes are definitely more secure.
Yeah. That'll do it for NBA Crunch Time. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in, and we will see you again tomorrow on behalf of myself, Keith, Will, Steve behind the scenes. Peace.